Rudy Giuliani says special counsel Robert Mueller is not done seeking answers from President Trump. The president's attorney telling CNN Mueller could still ask the president more questions on obstruction of justice. Joining us now, former special assistant to FBI Director James Comey and CNN law enforcement analyst Josh Campbell, and former lawyer for Rick Gates and CNN legal analyst Shan Wu. Gentlemen, good to have both of you with us. Happy Thanksgiving to both of you. Always thankful for your expertise and your insight on some of these matters. Shan, I want to begin with you. A couple of things just to pick out of what Rudy Giuliani told us. Probably shouldn't come as a surprise to anyone that Robert Mueller may have more questions for the president. But one of the things that Giuliani said is that he would fight any questions on obstruction of justice because he believes that they would violate executive privilege. Is that clear to you?
It's not at all clear, and it's not at all clear to most legal experts. I think that Giuliani sounds extremely overconfident on that point, but that's part of his spin. The executive privilege has always been a murky area. I mean, it's been used as far back as George Washington and Eisenhower. Most recently, in the SB matter, actually, the Clinton administration kind of had a up and a down luck with it. With Lewinsky, it basically was not upheld. But in SB, it was for the purpose of aides gathering information to brief the president. So I think that's probably been studied rather carefully by the Trump team, but it's by no means a well-settled area. So I think the big question really is where is this all the way to the Supreme Court and open up a big fight over the invocation of executive privilege.
Which will be interesting to see. Rudy Giuliani also saying he wasn't given any timeline, any sense of when this may end. That's probably not surprising to a lot of people. We know how tight-lipped the Mueller team has been, Josh, but Rudy Giuliani now admitting that they don't know when this could be over. He talked a little bit about the types of questions, specifically that at least one involved this meeting that Donald Trump Jr. had, of course, this infamous meeting at Trump Tower. We're only getting his side of the story, though, Josh. So, based on the way investigations are done, obviously, is there anything to read into here other than Rudy Giuliani wanting to get his story out there first? Is there some other takeaway that you're pulling?
Yeah, so we're seeing two sides of this. So in any investigation, you have this battle, this match of wits where obviously you have investigators. They have their own investigative strategy. That has been very opaque. As you mentioned, we haven't heard from Mueller's team. They've been very tight as far as holding that information. On the flip side, Giuliani and the president, I mean, they're laying their cards out, for all intents and purposes. And I think it's part of the strategy that, to play on this victim narrative that, the president is a victim of this witch hunt. Look, we've done all we can. We're trying to cooperate with these people. Here they keep coming back at us. This is unfair. And again, the audience is their base, the public, to try to, appeal to them and say, look, we are the victims of an out-of-control government. I don't think, and I talked to a lot of, former colleagues in the legal profession that agree with me that I don't think the president ever intended to sit down face-to-face with Robert Mueller. He mentioned to the press several times that he would love to 100%. But again, it's very difficult for him because that gives him great exposure. I think they're trying to split the difference here. They say, well, Mueller can give us questions, but at some point, again, they're going to return to that victim narrative that, look, they just keep coming back at us, asking for more and more and more. This is so unfair. This is part of a strategy we're seeing play out right in front of us.
In terms of those questions, Giuliani saying that they looked like a law school exam in terms of what the questions were. One would imagine there may be some more direct yes, no questions. Did you know about this? Did you not? But this is an intense investigation. So shouldn't they be like a law school exam, Shan?
Oh, well, I don't know if it should be like a law school exam, which suggests that I think Giuliani is trying to spin that as it's very technical and perhaps overly specific, but it's going to be broad-ranging. I mean, as Josh knows, you're going to ask open-ended questions. You're going to have subsets depending on what answers you get to lead into other areas. You want to make sure that you cover everything you can because it's not a direct examination in court. It's part of an investigation, so you want to go very broad with that. So by agreeing to have to submit written questions, you're not going to get like 3 questions, did you do this, did you do that? It's going to be very, very comprehensive in order to set the stage for what has got to be follow-up questions. And I have to think that any prosecutor is going to want to question the president in person. I completely agree with Josh. I don't think they had any intention of exposing the president to his own devils by letting him answer questions.
And that obviously is something that's been a topic for some time, and most people siding with both of you on that one.